Big day today, buying a new project car for the channel. And I'm gonna break nearly every one of my own rules about buying cars. I told you guys when I sold the E36 that I was doing it because I wanted to get more cars for the channel, so let's go get it. You always do two envelopes. One is the price you wanna pay, and one is the price you have to pay. And like every good car purchase, you have to bring a trailer, because it's a project. Family outing to go buy a car. We even got Champ in the back for moral support. Normally I drag Amy along to go buy these things. I don't know, how many cars have you come with me to buy now?
I don't know, 5 or 6.
Oh, is that it?
12.
Not all of them, but I definitely make you come with me to most of these.
We don't buy all of them.
We discussed the deal a bit and ended up coming up on a price that makes both of us kind of unhappy, which I think is usually the sign of a good deal. It's a pretty special car and a pretty hard car to find. After I had left, I began wanting the car more and more because you just don't see these come up too often and you don't find them in this condition too often. It's actually his first car. He's owned this car for over 15 years, but life changes a lot and cars kind of took a back seat for him and it hasn't moved in over 10 years. We're gonna go pick it up. Midday on a Saturday, it just is not fun. That's a river in LA. That's what we get, just a concrete pile of piss. Trees growing out of it now. Nature. Unfortunately, the seller really doesn't want to be on camera and doesn't want me to film at his house. So I'm gonna pay for the car and then we're gonna get back to the shop. I'll take you guys for a whole walkthrough, show you the car and show you why it's really special. Let's get this thing loaded up. Ready to see what this thing is? Let's get it unloaded, bring it to the shop. All right, I've been jerking you guys around for long enough this episode, so let me show you what we got. This is it. And before you judge, there's something really special under the hood and about this car. Hang tight, we're gonna show you that in a second. But this is a 1998 Nissan 240SX, the Koki, AKA the facelift edition. And the story about this car is super interesting because the guy I bought it from, it was his first car. He bought this back in 2003 and he's owned it ever since. But as you can see, it's been sitting for nearly a decade. This car was listed on Craigslist for like a couple of minutes before he took the ad down and I was able to get in contact with him and go check it out. Something I think is really cool about it is it's a base model and I love base model cars because it means they have the least amount of options and they're really light. So this car is a slick top, which means it has no sunroof, which is great. I actually dragged Jolly up there a couple weeks ago and we went and checked out the car. What did I do?
You just left and backed out.
We checked it out and honestly, the car's in good shape for what it is, but it's not in like perfect condition. It's a little bit more rough here and there. I didn't want to make him a crappy offer, so I actually just left and passed on the car. But as time went by, I kind of kept thinking about it and I really, really wanted this thing because 240SXs may seem played out. They may seem like a pretty like low bar car, but honestly, clean 240SXs that aren't completely destroyed are becoming really rare and hard to find. And I've always loved the S14, especially the Koki. I built a 1J big turbo, 6-speed swapped one back at Hoonigan, and I loved that car. Just recently, the owner of that car reached out to me and asked if I wanted to buy it, but they kind of let it go. I don't want to say to crap, but they kind of let it go a bit, and the car looks to be in pretty rough shape, so I sort of passed on it, but it re-sparked my desire to have an S14. So I did a little searching and stumbled upon this. I forgot, there's something really special about this car. These cars came with a KA, which was a 2.4 liter inline four non-turbo. Not a bad engine, kind of a boring engine. But this car had some mods done to it early in its life. And it's got a full SR20 DET from an S15, not just the engine, but the transmission and the helical limited slip in the rear. So it's a full S15 driveline in this car. The cool part was it wasn't just hacked in there by some random dude. Forrest Wang from Get Nuts Lab actually did this back in like 2008. Kind of sick that this wasn't just like a hodgepodge swap. It was done by like a premier S chassis shop. So it's got a full blacktop SR20 DET, has a T28 turbo on it, and this thing is completely stock. It's not even tuned. It doesn't even have an aftermarket tune on the ECU. It's got a cone filter, a coil rad, and a front mount with a HKS ball valve. But other than that, it's not even tuned, which is really cool. And we'll probably screw with it. I mean, it's all there, it's all complete, it's not really hacked with. It's even got air conditioning, functioning air conditioning. The car came on some gram lights, which is pretty cool, but this car, because it's a base model, actually is still a 4-lug car, which is something I want to address in the future. You don't really have a ton of like 17 and 18 inch wheel options in 4x114.3. Oh, one other thing, insanely rare. There's not a single crack in an S chassis dash. You might not be able to see it through that gross windshield, but not a single crack on the dash is crazy. And the interior is in like okay shape. It's pretty dirty. Well, I don't know how you do this. You got razor blade elbows, or maybe a cat lived in it. But other than that, the interior is in really good shape besides the steering wheel and door panel. The reason why I passed on this car is, as you guys know, my big thing that I always look for is paint work. With a car like this, I don't really care if it's been repainted, but I just want to see the quality of paint and get something that doesn't need to be repainted. This car kind of lands in a gray area for me. It's got some clear coat burn, the quarter panel's been repainted. It's in such dusty and crusty condition that you can't really get a good look for the car. But the more I thought about it, the more I thought finding a straight, non-hacked up, well-modified S14 Koki 240, pretty sick. So for the price, I figured I'd negotiate a bit. I moved up from where I wanted to be, and I picked this thing up. I think it's gonna be a pretty fun project. I don't know, I just love these things. Ooh, it starts right up. The fan runs immediately, which I think is kind of odd, but we could change that. Cold start is really good. I want to drive this thing around the block and see how it
You look right in this, man.
It smells bad.
It smells like my childhood in there.
I just said your childhood smells bad?
Yeah.
Damn, my bad.
Crusty Asians and dirty ghetto
chill
nail
out,
salons.
son. What you doing?
Yeah.
Ants are gonna do on this, but don't touch it. It looks like a sea turtle's been living in here, dude. Check it out. Crispy AC somehow. What about this? But everything works. Windows work. We got a CD. What is this?
System of a Down? You got chop suey? Oh, that's sick! Dang, this fool kind of gets down. And this, you don't see these often in these cars anymore. These just get trashed.
Enough, we're gonna get a licensing strike.
I'm mad you got more bump than my freaking 90.
Yo, the steering wheel is crust city.
How's it feel to be back in a 14?
Good, I just don't fit in cars with stock seats. Like, I just sit so tall in this. It's crazy, because like, to me, the 240SX is such a sports car, but when you drive one with stock seats and a stock steering wheel, you realize how much of like an econo car it was. Big ol' like 15-inch steering wheel, not a bolster in sight with the seat, you know?
Yeah, you kind of get a couch with this. Oh! Yo, under load is tight.
Hold up.
Oh man! Run it back, run it back, run it back!
The little flutter?
Oh.
Yeah, this is sick. I like this thing.
how does having a 4-cylinder feel compared to an inline 6 in the 14?
Good question, because when I first built my 1J car, I was like, I didn't even care about the SR. I was like, you know what? The JZ engine sounds better, it makes more power, it's torquier, like everything. I started to become more fond of the SR because it's an all aluminum 4-cylinder, so it keeps the front end of the car really light. But the JZ engine's really heavy. I haven't like ripped on it yet. I think you'll feel it more in like the turns and stuff, but I like the idea of keeping the car like really light and compact. I think power-wise, the SRs are more limited on a stock motor. Mid 300 wheel, and you're like pushing it before you start blowing these things up, whereas the JZs, you could load them up to 500-600 horsepower on a GTE and like not even break a sweat. So that's cool, but honestly, I don't really care. I don't really want 500 horsepower, so like I'm all right. The SR's got a lot of torque. Sound, I don't know, what's your take on sound?
I like the sound of 4-cylinders. I like the sound of 4-cylinder turbos.
Yeah.
I don't hate them.
No, me neither. I just think we need to like uncork it a little bit because it's a little quiet. And I really want to put like a Garrett G25 550 on it just for that anti-surge housing. Jimmy Oaks told me the Disco Potato, the 2871R, is still like top dog for a stock motor. I feel like you got to do a G series just so you can have that noise.
Disco Potato?
Yeah, you never heard that? You're too young.
I call them yin yang spinny things, not Disco Potato.
No, the Disco Potato is a 2871. That's the turbo.
Disco Potato?
Why it's called that, I actually don't know. I don't remember. It's like a forums thing. Yo, I can't believe this AC works. This is crazy.
I'm actually mad at how good this shit works. Yo,
No,
did that pop?
Nah,
No,
I'm good.
Pop it.
Oh, you see a little bit, but
Yo.
dude, it's been sitting for a decade. What do you expect? The clutch is super grabby.
Ooh.
Yo, the SR is torquey, dude. The stock turbo feels a little lazy for how small it is. Because if it's a stock tune, maybe it's just not very aggressive with the timing. 3,000 RPM, high gear, you could get into it and it just feels kind of dead. It probably needs like a tune-up. The tires are so out of balance. This is like the most adult swapped S14. It's got air conditioning, a quiet exhaust, stock interior, tinted windows. Like, it's so chill. Yo, the HKS is sick.
I'm kind of mad this is punching a little harder than my JZ.
Yo, you want to go?
Actually, you want to go?
You want to go?
You want to go?
Yo, we could actually go and film it and put it on YouTube and not be doing anything illegal. We could definitely do a 1 through 3. We could definitely do a 1 through 3 and not break any laws. So what do I do with this thing? I have no idea. But if you guys are like me, I know you have cars that are on your search routine, and the Koki S14 is always on my routine searches. This just so happened to come up and I couldn't pass on it. The only reason why I passed on this car originally is because I didn't have my E36 sold yet. But once I had the cash burning a hole in my pocket, I knew I had to go get this car because they do not come around often. So I didn't set out to buy this car, and I don't really know what to do with this. So I want to ask you guys, what do you think I should do with it? Should I build this into a nice streetable drift car that I can actually just replace the yellow E36 with? Or should I clean it up to its former glory, make this thing really nice, and then maybe sell it to one of you guys for a good deal and work my way up to my next car, which may be a fun 4-door streetable drift car, or maybe even start the process of like trading this car up to another dream level car and teaching you guys the tricks and tips along the way? Because even though it's not a sedan, I think a cheap R32 GTR sounds pretty good to me. So Let me know in the comments what you guys think. I'm not really sure what I want to do yet. I just couldn't pass up on such a cool car being neglected and left in a barn for the last decade, so I had to pick it up. It's not exactly what I intended, but I'd love to hear what you guys want to see. You know me, I have like car commitment issues. I have vehicle ADHD. I'm gonna clean this thing up either way and probably sell it eventually. It's just a matter of how quick we do it and what I could teach you along the way. But thanks for everyone for watching. Next episode, we're gonna dive into this thing, get it all cleaned up, see everything that's wrong with it and everything that's good with it. But until then, if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Making videos every Thursday. But for now, I'm gonna go make a plan for this car, so I'm out. Sad day. The buyer's here to pick up that 80.
Cool, thank you.
Dude.
I'm super excited.
I'm excited for you, man. I'm gonna watch you drive away and cry a little bit.